You might enjoy sardines because they are inexpensive, convenient, and often labeled as a superfood. But here is the surprising truth. This little $2 can sitting in your pantry can either work for your heart, your brain, and your bones, or it can slowly cause harm without you even realizing it. Most people assume sardines are always healthy, so they never question where they come from or how they should be eaten. Yet the difference between benefit and risk can be much bigger than you think. Sardines are packed with omega-3 fatty acids that support your circulation and calm inflammation in your blood vessels. According to USDA data, a standard 3-ounce serving of sardines provides about 0.45 grams of EPA and 0.74 grams of DHA, which is more omega-3 than most Americans get in an entire week. They contain vitamin D for stronger bones, vitamin B12 for your nervous system, and high-quality protein that helps preserve muscle as we age. 100 grams of sardines deliver around 370% of the daily value for vitamin B12, about 24% for vitamin D, and roughly 96% for selenium. But they can also come with hidden concerns. Some canned varieties contain excessive sodium. High sodium intake can increase the amount of calcium lost through urine, which is a known risk factor for kidney stone formation in older adults. Some carry purines that can trigger joint discomfort in sensitive individuals, and depending on the water they were caught in, a few may even contain traces of heavy metals. Studies from different fishing regions show that sardines from polluted waters may carry trace amounts of arsenic, cadmium, or lead, although levels vary widely based on geography. These risks do not cancel out the benefits, but they do mean one important thing. You need to know how to choose the right kind of sardines and how often to eat them. In this video, I will walk you through everything you need to know. We will look at the real science behind the benefits, the potential dangers you may not have heard about, how to select safer options, and how to enjoy sardines in a way that supports your overall health. By the end, you will be able to decide confidently when sardines can strengthen your heart, your brain, and your long-term well-being. If you care about healthy aging, strong circulation, and keeping your brain sharp, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone you care about. A simple tip like this can make a meaningful difference for someone in their 60s, 70s, or beyond. When we talk about sardines as a superfood, we are really talking about how a small fish can deliver a level of nutrition that the body instantly recognizes and uses. Let us begin with omega-3 fatty acids, the powerhouse nutrients inside sardines. These omega-3s, especially EPA and DHA, support the lining of your blood vessels, help your circulation flow more smoothly, and calm the kind of inflammation that raises the risk for heart attack and stroke. Many Americans over 60 struggle with high triglycerides, stiff arteries, and poor blood flow in the legs. EPA and DHA are two of the most effective natural tools we have for improving those problems. Clinical trials have shown that eating sardines regularly can raise the body's omega-3 index by about 1.3 to 2.7% over 6 to 12 months, a meaningful improvement for heart protection. When you eat sardines, you are giving your heart fuel that goes to work immediately, not in months, but in hours. Along with omega-3s, sardines are one of the rare foods that naturally provide vitamin D in meaningful amounts. This is important because as we age, our ability to absorb and activate vitamin D becomes weaker, and the consequences show up silently in our bones. Vitamin D helps you absorb calcium and supports bone remodeling, the process that keeps bones dense and strong. Approximately 99% of the calcium in the human body is stored inside bones, making this vitamin D and calcium combination especially important for older adults. For older adults, this becomes a direct line of defense against fractures, instability, and muscle weakness. Sardines bring together vitamin D and calcium in the same bite, which is exactly how the body prefers to receive these nutrients. Another quiet deficiency that affects many older adults is vitamin B12. Low B12 can cause fatigue, nerve tingling, problems with balance, and memory decline. Sardines are naturally rich in B12, and unlike supplements, The form of B12 in whole foods tends to be well absorbed. That means your nervous system gets the support it needs to keep communication between your brain and your body sharp. For anyone concerned about cognitive aging, this one nutrient alone makes sardines worth considering. Protein quality is another strength of sardines. As we age, we lose muscle faster, and rebuilding it becomes harder. Many older Americans do not eat enough high-quality protein, especially protein that is easy to digest. Sardines provide complete protein with all the essential amino acids your muscles require. This kind of protein supports leg strength, balance, and mobility, which are some of the most powerful predictors of longevity. Your muscles are constantly renewing themselves, and sardines give them exactly what they need to stay strong. On top of all that, sardines contain selenium, a mineral that often gets overlooked but plays a major role in protecting cells from oxidative stress. Oxidative stress increases with age and contributes to chronic disease. Selenium helps neutralize harmful free radicals and supports healthy thyroid function, which influences energy, metabolism, and mood. A single can of sardines can provide more than half of the selenium most adults need in a day. Sardines also offer something that rarely gets talked about but matters deeply for healthy aging. When nutrients come packaged together in the right balance, your body absorbs and uses them more efficiently. Sardines are one of those foods where everything works in harmony. The omega-3 fatty acids reduce inflammation, which allows vitamin D and calcium to support your bones more effectively. The protein repairs muscle tissue, which protects your joints and reduces the stress on your cardiovascular system. Selenium controls oxidative stress, helping these other nutrients function without interference. It is like an orchestra where every instrument knows exactly when to play. Many people assume they need expensive supplements to support heart health, brain health, or stronger bones, but the human body often responds better to natural combinations found in whole foods. Sardines are a perfect example of this. EPA and DHA are not only anti-inflammatory, they also help support healthy electrical activity in the brain. That means clearer thinking, better mood regulation, and potentially lower risk for cognitive decline. Vitamin B12 strengthens the insulation around your nerves, helping signals travel more smoothly. Together, these nutrients create an environment where your brain can perform with more clarity even as the decades go by. Another important point is consistency. You do not need to eat sardines every day to gain benefits. Even having them once or twice a week can meaningfully improve omega-3 levels in your bloodstream. For many individuals in their 60s or 70s who may not eat large portions of salmon or other fatty fish, sardines offer a practical way to get these essential fats in a small serving. Your body does not care how much the food costs, only how powerful its nutrients are. There is also a digestive advantage. The protein in sardines is gentler on the stomach compared to many heavier animal proteins. It is absorbed quickly, which is especially important for older adults who may eat smaller meals. When your body gets high-quality amino acids, it can maintain muscle mass more efficiently, support tissue repair, and keep your metabolism steady. Maintaining muscle strength is one of the best ways to stay independent, prevent falls, and support long-term metabolic health. The combination of omega-3s, vitamin D, calcium, selenium, protein, and B12 makes sardines one of the most nutrient-dense foods you can find in the American grocery store. It is rare to find a food that strengthens your heart, your bones, your muscles, and your brain at the same time. And this is why many researchers consider sardines one of the most underrated superfoods available. A small can that costs less than a cup of coffee can deliver a level of nutrition that supports healthy aging in ways far beyond what most people expect. Even with all the remarkable benefits sardines offer, it is important to understand the hidden risks that come with certain varieties and eating patterns. Let us begin with sodium overload. Many canned sardines are packed in brine, tomato sauce, or flavored oils that contain far more sodium than most people realize. For older adults who are already managing high blood pressure or swollen feet and legs, that extra sodium can push the cardiovascular system into overload. Fluid retention becomes more likely, blood vessels stiffen, and the heart has to work harder. It is not that sardines themselves are harmful, but the sodium in some canned products can undo many of the benefits if you are not paying attention. Another factor to consider is purines and gout risk. Purines are natural compounds found in many protein-rich foods. Most people process them without issue, but individuals who are sensitive or who already struggle with elevated uric acid can experience joint inflammation and gout flares when purine intake spikes. Sardines are moderately high in purines, so eating them too frequently or combining them with other high purine foods can create discomfort for those who are already vulnerable. For the average person, this is not a problem, but for someone with a history of gout or kidney challenges, it is worth approaching with awareness. There is also the concern of heavy metals exposure. Sardines are small fish, which generally means they accumulate fewer toxins compared to larger species like tuna or swordfish. But certain regions of the world have more polluted waters, and fish caught there can carry trace amounts of arsenic, cadmium, or lead. These substances do not produce symptoms right away, but long-term exposure can affect kidney function, bone health, and the nervous system. This does not apply to all brands or all fishing locations, but it is one more reason why choosing sardines from clean, well-regulated waters matters. Kidney stress is another issue that many people overlook. When you combine sardines with other high purine foods or meals that are heavy in sodium, you increase the workload on your kidneys. Over time, that can contribute to the formation of kidney stones, especially for those who are already at risk. The kidneys rely on stable hydration and consistent mineral balance to function properly. Too much sodium, too many purines, or inconsistent water intake can disrupt that balance and create problems. The last concern involves contaminated fishing waters. Not all oceans and coastal regions are equal. Industrial pollution, agricultural runoff, and heavy metals and sediment can affect the fish living there. Sardines coming from cleaner waters tend to have far lower levels of contaminants, while those from certain polluted regions may carry unwanted substances. These differences come from geography, not the fish themselves. When you put all these factors together, the picture becomes clearer. Sardines themselves are not the problem. In fact, they are remarkably nutrient-dense and incredibly beneficial for healthy aging. What matters is the combination of sodium, purines, water quality, and how often you eat them. For someone who enjoys sardines once or twice a week and chooses a clean, low-sodium option, the benefits outweigh the risks by a wide margin. But if someone eats highly salted sardines several times a week or chooses products from poorly regulated waters, the body can begin to feel the strain over time. This is why awareness makes such a difference. Understanding sodium overload allows you to read labels and pick versions packed in water or olive oil with far less added salt. Knowing about purines helps you plan meals that do not overwhelm your system with too many rich foods at once. Being aware of heavy metals encourages you to choose brands that source from cleaner regions like the North Atlantic or the Pacific, where contamination tends to be lower. And recognizing kidney stress reminds you to stay hydrated and avoid pairing sardines with other foods that can burden your kidneys. When you combine these small choices, you unlock the full potential of sardines without exposing yourself to avoidable risks. A food that costs just a few dollars can either become a powerful ally for your heart, your bones, and your brain, or it can create challenges if eaten without understanding its nuances. The goal is not to avoid sardines, but to enjoy them in a smart and informed way so your body receives all the good they offer. Most importantly, this empowers you to feel confident about the choices you make every time you open a can. You know exactly what to look for, what to avoid, and how to protect your long-term health. With the right knowledge, sardines shift from a questionable pantry item into a reliable, science-backed superfood that supports you as you age. When it comes to choosing sardines that truly support your health, the details on the label matter more than most people realize. The first thing to pay attention to is where the sardines were caught. Clean ocean environments produce cleaner fish, and that can dramatically reduce your exposure to contaminants. When you see countries with strong fishing regulations or certifications like MSC, the Marine Stewardship Council, that gives you confidence. The fish came from waters that are monitored for sustainability and purity. Sardines from the North Atlantic or parts of the Pacific often meet these criteria, and choosing these sources can make a real difference for your long-term health. Another important factor is whether the sardines are wild-caught. Wild-caught fish generally have a more natural diet and tend to accumulate fewer unwanted substances compared to fish raised in crowded environments. Many sardine products in the United States are already wild-caught, but it is still worth double-checking. This small step helps ensure you are getting a cleaner, more nutrient-rich option. Sodium is the next big consideration. Some canned sardines contain more than half of the recommended daily sodium intake in a single serving, which can be a real issue for anyone with high blood pressure or circulation problems. Looking for low sodium versions, or sardines packed in water or olive oil, can significantly reduce this risk. Olive oil adds healthy fats that work together with the natural omega-3s in sardines, and it does not overload your system with salt. Water-packed sardines are also a good option if you prefer the cleanest and lightest taste. It is also helpful to look at what kind of oil is used. Many inexpensive sardines are packed in soybean oil, which is often highly processed and adds little nutritional value. Choosing products packed in extra virgin olive oil gives you a healthier fat profile and avoids unnecessary additives. The quality of the oil affects not only the flavor, but also how your body responds to the meal. These decisions become even more meaningful when you consider how often you plan to enjoy sardines. According to the American Heart Association, 2 servings of fatty fish each week is enough to meaningfully support heart health. Sardines fit that recommendation beautifully without requiring large portions. For most older adults, enjoying sardines once or twice a week strikes the perfect balance between receiving their rich nutritional benefits and avoiding overload from sodium or purines. The American Heart Association recommends 2 3-ounce servings of fatty fish per week for optimal heart protection. Once you start choosing sardines more intentionally, you will notice how much better your body responds. Clean sources, lower sodium, and healthier packaging mediums all work together to reduce the burden on your cardiovascular system and your kidneys. They also help you absorb the nutrients more effectively. This is especially important as we age, since our bodies become more sensitive to both the good and the bad in our diet. Another small but meaningful step is paying attention to the liquid the sardines are packed in. Sardines packed in olive oil tend to hold their texture and flavor better, and the oil helps protect the delicate omega-3 fats from oxidation. Olive oil itself contains polyphenols that support heart health, making it a natural partner to sardines. On the other hand, sardines packed in tomato sauce or heavily seasoned brine often come with much higher sodium levels. Those versions can be enjoyed occasionally, but they should not be your weekly staple if you are trying to support healthy blood pressure or maintain steady circulation in your legs and feet. If you prefer sardines packed in water, that can also be a smart choice. Water-packed sardines offer the cleanest nutritional profile and make it easy to pair them with other healthy ingredients like leafy greens, whole grains, or avocado. And because they have no added oil, you are in full control of the fats you choose to add to the meal. Another advantage of buying higher quality sardines is that you can enjoy them with confidence. When you select brands that clearly state their fishing location and use trusted certifications, you reduce your risk of exposure to heavy metals or contaminants that have been found in certain polluted regions of the world. Clean water matters, and it shows up in the purity and flavor of the fish. This is not something you can see from the outside of the can, but it becomes clear once you begin reading labels more carefully. Finally, understanding how often to eat sardines helps complete the picture. You do not need to eat them every day to benefit from their nutrients. In fact, spacing them out across the week is often ideal. 2 servings of fatty fish each week, as recommended by the American Heart Association, is enough to support healthy cholesterol levels, calm inflammation, and nourish the brain. Sardines fit beautifully into this rhythm because they are small, easy to digest, and versatile. This frequency offers the benefits of omega-3s, vitamin D, and high-quality protein without overwhelming your system with too much sodium or purines. With these guidelines in mind, sardines become more than just a budget-friendly pantry item. They become a reliable part of a healthy aging strategy, supporting your heart, your bones, and your brain with every serving. When chosen wisely, sardines deliver remarkable nutrition in a small, simple package that has stood the test of time. When you understand how powerful sardines can be, the next step is knowing how to enjoy them in a way that maximizes those benefits for your heart, your brain, and your overall well-being. One of the best ways to do that is to pair sardines with foods that naturally reduce inflammation. Sardines already contain omega-3 fatty acids that calm inflammatory activity inside your blood vessels. When you combine them with leafy greens, fresh tomatoes, cucumbers, avocados, or a simple mixed salad, you reinforce that effect. The nutrients in these vegetables work together with the omega-3s to support healthy circulation, steady blood pressure, and smoother digestion. It becomes a meal that not only satisfies you, but also supports the healing environment inside your body. Another smart approach is to pair sardines with foods rich in vitamin C. Vitamin C helps your body absorb iron more effectively and strengthens your immune defenses. This pairing improves the absorption of non-heme iron, which becomes increasingly important as nutrient absorption slows with age. Adding a squeeze of lemon, serving sardines with oranges, bell peppers, or even a tomato-based side dish can elevate the nutritional value of the meal. These simple combinations help your body use the nutrients in sardines more efficiently, especially as you age and your absorption slows down. It is also important to pay attention to what you should avoid pairing with sardines. Because sardines contain natural purines, combining them with other high-purine foods like organ meats can increase the load on your system. For most people, this is not an issue, but for individuals with gout or a history of kidney stones, this combination can increase discomfort. Enjoying sardines with vegetables, whole grains, or fruit-based sides keeps the meal easy on your joints and kidneys while still delivering great flavor. For older adults who want simple, practical ways to include sardines in daily meals, there are a few combinations that work beautifully. Sardines on whole grain toast with a slice of avocado creates a heart-healthy snack that is rich in fiber and healthy fats. A light sardine salad tossed with olive oil, greens, and olives gives you a Mediterranean-style dish that supports longevity. Pairing sardines with a baked sweet potato adds natural sweetness, vitamins, and steady energy without overwhelming your system. These meals are quick to prepare, easy to digest, and deeply nourishing. Another practical tip that makes a meaningful difference is learning how to manage sodium when you open a can that tastes a little too salty. Many people are surprised to learn that you can gently rinse sardines under warm water for a few seconds and remove a significant amount of excess sodium without losing the essential nutrients. The omega-3 fats, the vitamin D, the B12, and the protein remain intact. What you wash away is mostly the brine or salty packing liquid. This small adjustment can turn a heavily salted can into a heart-friendly meal, especially for older adults who need to control blood pressure or reduce swelling in their legs. As you experiment with different combinations, you will notice that sardines adapt well to a variety of flavors. Adding herbs like parsley, dill, or basil gives the dish a fresh aroma without increasing salt. A drizzle of extra virgin olive oil enhances the natural richness of the fish while adding polyphenols that support cardiovascular health. Pairing sardines with whole grain crackers, quinoa bowls, or lightly roasted vegetables creates meals that are filling but never heavy. These combinations support metabolism, improve digestion, and keep your energy steady throughout the day. Another simple but powerful approach is to build meals that balance macronutrients. When you combine the healthy fats and protein in sardines with the complex carbohydrates found in whole grains or sweet potatoes, you create a slow and steady release of energy. This helps prevent afternoon energy crashes and supports blood sugar stability. For many older adults, this balance becomes an important part of maintaining strength, clarity, and stamina. What makes sardines especially valuable for seniors is how easy they are to prepare. There is no complicated cooking technique required. You can open a can, pair it with nourishing foods you already enjoy, and build a meal that works with your body instead of against it. In a world filled with heavily processed snacks and sugary choices, sardines provide an option that supports your long-term health while still being affordable and convenient. Once you begin bringing sardines into your meals with purpose, you start unlocking the benefits in a way that feels natural. The meal is light, flavorful, and full of nutrients that your heart, your brain, and your muscles recognize immediately. And when you combine them with anti-inflammatory foods, vitamin C-rich ingredients, and simple low-sodium techniques, you turn an ordinary pantry staple into a powerful part of your healthy aging toolkit. As we wrap up today, I hope you can see sardines in a completely new light. This tiny $2 food has an extraordinary ability to support your heart, strengthen your bones, and nourish your brain. When you choose the right kind, from clean waters, packed in healthier oils, and lower in sodium, you unlock everything your body needs for strong circulation, steadier energy, and clearer thinking. And when you pair them with the right foods, you amplify their benefits even further.